And the part that was skipped is I'm also a dropout of NMIMS. Okay guys, now that we've got a good start to this, let's talk about a topic that is a little bit more intense. How many of you believe that we are after all just animals? Just raise your hands please. Okay, that's pretty good. 70% believe that. That's nice. For the 30%, there's some training that has happened that makes you believe that you're not. And that training is the process that we go through from infancy to now, right from the time you were shushed to keep quiet just now. Right? That's the training that you go through. And you develop this nice human side to yourself, right? For people who are still not believing that we are still animals, let me talk about an infant who's born into a jungle and not trained by humans. He's going to turn into a human or an animal?
Animal.
Yeah, Mowgli, right? So what happens is this training of becoming human is something that is done right from an early age. And what we do in that is constantly give instructions till the time you don't need to give instructions, right? For example, hey, you cannot go out without pants. You tell an infant, right? And then he learns that I have to be ashamed of not wearing clothes. In fact, it's funny that a lot of the stuff that we are ashamed of is usually done behind closed doors. Right? You know what I'm talking about. A lot of things, not just that. This shame actually works very well for the human society. What shame does is trains us without the need of law. Right? Shame works very well. Right? We just know that if I am caught doing this or if I am found doing this, I'll be not fitting in the society's mold and the society will ridicule me, laugh at me, right? Remember the early school days when the school teacher would make you stand on the bench, right? That's not going to give you any pain, but that was very embarrassing, except for the shameless kids who love standing on the bench anyway, right? And this behavior over a period of time becomes a small fear in us which kind of guides us to do the right things, right? Because we will not fit in the society. We are constantly forced, and that's why we talked about this honking before in this previous session. You take an Indian in Germany, he will lose the honking habit immediately, right? Because he will not fit in anymore. Right? He'll be constantly wondering, hey, something's odd. Why is everyone staring at me when I honk? And he will learn automatically. The same thing what we do is, we don't throw garbage in foreign countries when we travel because we get awkward stares. And we can, right from infancy to now, we know when we are doing something that should be shaming us, right? So that's the part of shaming. And I'll talk about how this is something that passes on. For we also feel shame of people who we love. For example, our parents, right? We may be shameless, but we will think before doing some actions that my dad or mom would be ashamed if she found out or he found out about this, right? And we carry that with us all the time, and that's what makes us what it is, right? In fact, it's such a great training that we actually subconsciously do things behind that. For example, we will not even laugh openly, right? There's a certain pattern of laughter, like a small thing. We clap only 1, 2, 3, 4. If there's one guy who's clapping 6 times, they'll be like, why is he doing more than that, right? There's some patterns that are established already. And we don't even realize this is something that is being done to us constantly, right? And for people who are usually introverts, I was an introvert for the longest period of time, But I also had an extrovert side because I used to fake being an extrovert, just the way I'm doing it right now. I'm showing up and talking over here. And that actually works because this is a time I'm not thinking about any shame filter, right? I don't think it is important to talk about the shame filter. And there is this magical thing about law, society, and other things. Shame also has its positives. For example, a lot of people in this country don't get divorced out of shame, right? I'm not saying that we have the most healthiest relationships like the Western world or not. We probably have this thing, but you have this nice society thing where it's almost shameful to get divorced. Shameful to do a lot of things where the society, there's a funny joke that I heard that सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग, right? And we actually grow this within us. And we've reached a stage that we have our own shame, our surrogacy shame of our family members and others, our friends, and we have almost in India become these guys who are not rebels anymore, right? We just follow orders. And I don't think innovation can happen in a country which just follows orders, right? And that's why our contribution towards global innovation or global achievements is very, very few. And that's because no one is willing to take that risk, right? We follow that standard operating procedure of engineering, MBA, campus, job, car, EMI, marriage, and the cycle continues, right? Very few of us actually break this particular pattern. I'll talk about my life incident. When I decided to drop out of science and pursue philosophy, people thought, ये तो BA कर रहा है, right? Look at the sound of it. There is BA and there is graduate of philosophy. It sounds cool because I'm here. If I was sitting over there and maybe one of it's MBA and BA, not the same. And this is the kind of shaming which makes people not do more things and really let them chase their dreams. We've reached a point where I'm shocked to tell you, but there are entrepreneurship colleges. That's not going to work. It doesn't make sense, right? It's all about trying to do things that is not going to follow rules. If you're wanting rules to follow entrepreneurship, it's not going to work. It's constant learning every day. I have heard about the Indian trait of coaching classes, right? We love coaching classes. I don't know why. There are coaching classes for coaching classes also, I've heard. And we've reached a point where we cannot pretty much do anything on our own. We need coaching, right? I mean, you guys know, you use all internet for your projects, right? And someone should find a tool to do the 90% match projects between years. You'll find out most projects are a copy of each other. The problem of that is that we are not wanting to learn, we don't wanting to break the rules. We are saying, this is it, itna padhai karo, this is the thing, don't try to break the framework. And I don't think innovation can happen when you follow a framework. Innovation happens when you are not willing to accept certain things, you are okay with the constraints but still not wanting to follow rules, and that's the big thing about it. Today we have reached a stage where this shame of failing does not allow us to drop out when you realize that this is not for me. The shame does not allow us to drop out of relationship when you know it's not going to work out for you, or anything else, or a job, right? So many people I meet who come to these entrepreneurship conferences and say, hey, I want to become an entrepreneur. I said, so what are you waiting for? No, I'm just trying to understand. And I have met this guy for like 2 years now in different conferences. There are these fence sitters who come and just want to hear, and they feel proud about some entrepreneurs who've taken these risks. We just love watching people taking risks. We should be taking more risks, right? And we should not be having any shame attached to it, right? I could have spoken about various topics, and I chose shame as a topic, but I realized that the biggest reason a lot of people don't take risks because there is some kind of shame attached to this, right? What if I look funny? What if people make fun of me? And I think it's part of society, right? We laugh at people who are misfits, right? We laugh at people who do not fit, right? And that's not going to work because I think these misfits are the ones who create great innovation, right? It's not the standard structure, and this is a time where the world has become flat, right? A lot of the stuff can come from this country. It doesn't have to be always Western and copied in India. By the way, for a lot of times, people ask us about our company and we say, hey, I have not seen companies that are being made on true original Indian ideas. You know why? Because what if it fails? What if it's a stupid idea? But it's okay. A lot of ideas are really stupid when they started, right? And success will follow. But I think we've got to a stage where we do not allow this fear thing to really drive us, right? And I think time has come for shameless to become sexy, right? And I'll tell you how it will help in so many other ways of thinking of life. We've reached a point where a lot of us need to go beyond the regular growth rate and do more than that. And that is not going to come by following rules, right? It is not going to come in your job, it's not going to come in your life thing. India is competing at every level, right? The amount of students who are passing out of MBA or are trying to get into jobs or trying to survive a job, or the number of startups coming up is really not going to work if people are not going to take so many risks, right? So what I would talk about is letting go of this shame, letting go of this this emotion which holds us back, right? And do more. A lot of Hindu mythology believes that there is multiple births. I can guarantee you there is no birth after this. This is your only one lifetime, right? So really make it big. Thanks a lot.